Okay guys, so we have another huge Sarugia unboxing. This one isn't as big as that motor stadium that we got, but it's still pretty big. Usually I think it's like $50 or $60, maybe even more, but I got this for about $45, I want to say, maybe even less, which was a steal, because usually when you have bigger packages it costs a lot more to ship, and that's why most sites have it for more expensive. But since Sarugia gives free shipping, this is basically just TT price minus plus $5, so here it is. And there's a little pamphlet with my address and stuff, so I'm going to remove that real quick before showing you the box. But this is a lot bigger than I thought it was. And here we go. Beyblade X customized set, UX-10. So it comes with 2 UX Beyblades, one new one, Night Male. And this is special because it has kind of like a Jade Jupiter, kind of not at the same time gimmick, where it has metal balls that can move, but instead of moving inward and outward, it has an up and down movement. So this should have a lot of good defensive capabilities, and what I hear is that the moving balls actually help it stabilize so that it doesn't get knocked off balance as much. We'll have to see if that's true or not, but basically that's what it means. Then we have another new part. I want to say this is Terra Wing for the Japanese name. And yeah, it doesn't have it in English, so I am not sure. And yeah, this is actually called Terra Swing, not Wing. Sorry guys. But yeah, so these are 2 new Beyblades in TT's verse, at least. Technically, we've had this before, but just in Hasbro releases. Then we also get a red coat Tyrano Beat. Tyrano Beat was only released in the random booster so far, so not only do we get a metal coat version of it, but we also get a pretty rare Beyblade. Hasbro did release it technically, so it's not that rare, but for TT it's pretty rare. Then we also have a blue coat for Hell's Hammer. Hell's Hammer isn't that rare, this part isn't that special, but having a metal coat does make it kind of cool. Then for the other parts of Night Male, we have 385, so this is actually the highest Ratchet release so far. Before it was 80, now this has like half a centimeter higher, and not only is this the highest, but it also has one of the highest bits out so far, Bound Spike. And the thing about Bound Spike is that it kind of acts like a Nothing Driver from Fafnir, where it has a little bounce to it. It can absorb when it hits the stadium and absorb hits when it's hit. Very good gimmick, honestly. And yeah, I loved Fafnir, so having this bit is kind of sick. They're probably gonna slap this on the Fafnir remake when they get around to it, I can just tell. Other than that, we just have some random parts that we can use for the other 3 blades. We have 770. I don't think that's released yet. You guys can correct me if I'm wrong. I don't think that's a bay on an official stock combo, or a part on this official stock combo. And then we have a gold 160 that originally came on Drawn Buster. And then we have an array of different parts. This is the first rubber cell, so that's pretty cool. We were originally thinking that we would have to wait for the BX00 anniversary release with Dragoon, Pegasus, and Valkyrie. And all 3 of those came with the rubber cell, which is kind of crazy. You get 3 rubber cells in one set. But we thought that would be the first one, but then this set came out, so now we have a rubber cell. And the rest of these we've seen already. Point's not too rare, comes on a couple of Beyblades. Ball is very not rare, very common. Rush is a little rare, but it's still not that hard to get. And Metal Needle is, I think, only released on Shinobi Shadow. So, and only the prize bay variant. So this is kind of a rare part to get. And I hear it's really bad, but honestly, the extra metal, I just wanted to see how it would be like. Needle's not that great in the first place though, so metal needle might not be that great. Anyway, that's pretty much it for the box. Not much else to say about this. Let's just go ahead and tear into this package. There we go. We don't have any Beyblades, guys. Just kidding. Here, all the bays, all the parts. I thought this would actually be a whole lot greener. That's more of a turquoise. I'm sure you guys probably thought that too, but yeah, let's just go ahead and tear into this package. First we have Night Mail, and this layer is heavy. Dang, I'm gonna have to check the weights on these bays. I've been just realizing. This layer feels hefty. Yeah, dang, this might be a decently heavy layer. I'm gonna turn on flash real quick. There we go. Now you guys can see it has the ball gimmick, moves up and down in the layer. Other than that, it's a very round bay, but I can tell it's probably gonna have a lot of recoil with these jutting edges. Kind of reminds me of a 0G Beyblade sort of thing. I think it was Golem or some sort of Golem Beyblade. But yeah, very, very defensive looking Beyblade. Then we have the highest Ratchet that we've ever received. Let me go ahead and grab a 380 to compare this 385 to. And I think this is also one of the first times where we had the exact same color for both the base of the Ratchet and the outer part of the Ratchet. This is so weird. It doesn't have a turny part. This is just, is this unburstable or something? What is this? Or does this make it easier to burst? It doesn't have a spring. Wait, did you guys know this? I did not know this. I don't think I've ever seen an unboxing of this bay. That's why oh my gosh. This is a strange part. Oh, okay then. I'll go ahead and grab a 380 to compare anyway. That, I did not expect that. Okay, so here's my Knight Shield. And let's see if we can see a height difference. Just right off the bat, it's just a 0.5 centimeter difference, so it shouldn't be huge, but yeah, you can kind of tell. Let me bring it closer. Flat, and yeah, there's a slight difference. It's not anything too crazy. The main part is how this locks in. I did not know this, guys. That's a crazy thing. Anyway, enough being stupid about it. Let's move on to the final part of Night Mail. Another pretty cool part, bound spike. Here we are. And, whoa. Have I been lied to again? This is supposed to bounce, right? Wait a minute. Oh yeah. Oh, okay. It's not like a spring-loaded thing. It just kind of pops out. Okay. That's a lot less than like Fafnir than I thought it was. Does this work on every Ratchet, or is it just that Ratchet? Now I'm curious. Yeah, it works on every Ratchet. That's kind of cool. Not a bad part, honestly. Little fidget toy there. Anyway, this is one of the highest Beyblades. If we compare it to something like Knight Shield, we can see a significant height difference. And this isn't even a short bay. This was one of the taller bays back in the day. If I pull out my Shark Edge, we can see a huge height difference. Like, this is an insane height difference. And yeah, when we first started Beyblade X, we were thinking, oh, height differences aren't going to matter too much, or they would matter a lot, but they're not going to be like crazy height differences like we had in MFB or something. But I guess we're getting proved wrong with something like this versus something like this. But anyway, that's pretty much it for Night Mail. Moving on to the rest of the parts, we'll be a little bit quicker with this, other than first rubber cell. Now this part looks very strange, and I'm sure you guys agree. Right off the bat, it kind of gives like the Elevate plate vibe. It should have a good amount of LAD actually because of that. But the rubber, very basic part, I think as flat as like a point or a flat part. Maybe not like exactly as wide, but it is getting there. This might be one of the widest flat parts that we have seen in Beyblade, because I've never seen anything this big for a rubber part in MFB, in Burst. Oh no, wait, Burst had variable, that was huge. But still, this is very early for something like variable. Anyway, not much to say about this. This would probably look good on my Samurai Saber. I ordered that a little while ago, so it should come soon. But yeah, I'm probably just not going to use that this much. If you want me to do some testing with it, I'd be down to. Just let me know what bays you want to see this on. But yeah, this is pretty much it. Good LAD, good attack, a bunch of gears, and yeah. Moving on to the parts that we already know about. I just showed the blue point. Nothing special, it's just a point of blue. Then we also have a white ball. And ball's also not that rare. It's very common, honestly. But I don't have it in white yet, so I do appreciate it. Then we have a red rush, and honestly, I don't mind this that much. Red is a pretty cool color to have parts in, so a red rush is pretty nice. And finally, we have metal needle. This is my first metal needle. I'm about to get a fake metal needle soon from those new fake Beyblades, but yeah, my first real metal needle. There's a good amount of weight to this. It's like decently heavier than the average regular bit, so obviously gonna be pretty heavy. I see that it's banned in a lot of tournaments, or at least a lot of tournaments near me, because it damages the stadium and because people think it gives an unfair advantage, despite a lot of other people saying that it sucks. So I don't know, guys, if some people say it sucks and then some people are banning it. I don't know if it's that bad of a part. Probably just has some weird use cases. Moving on to the Ratchets. This is a new part, 770. We have 760 from Leon Crest. And I don't think we have a 780 yet, but this is our first 770. Probably can use it on a lot of stuff, because 70 is not that much different from 60. And 7 is not that hard to burst, or not that easy to burst, so it should be a good part to use on a couple of different combos. So you could use 760 and 770 in your tournaments and have a good weighted part, while also not sacrificing a lot of burst resistance. And finally, we have the yellow and like bronzish gold 160. Honestly, kind of a lame part. It's a cool part itself, but the color is just so bad that it makes me not want to use it at all. But it's not a terrible part, I guess. Finally, we have the blades, and this is also a new part. Terra Swing. It's a retool or a rehash of Viper Tail, so not a crazy rare part and not anything special, but it's pretty nice. It's a lot smoother, has wings, heads, not as like scaly and like edge defined as Viper Tail, but still not like amazing. Vipertail was good when it released, but now it's very outclassed, so this is also not that great. On the other hand, Tyrano Beat is still a pretty decent part to have because of its weight. It's like 37, 38 most of the time, and this painted layer might actually be pushing 39, so we'll have to check that. And on top of that, it is beautiful. I'm not going to use this, obviously. This is going on the shelf right there. But yeah, this thing looks gorgeous. Very, very, very good layer. My first TT Tyrano Beat. And finally we have Hell's Hammer. Probably, honestly, the weakest part of this unboxing, because it's a blue Hell's Hammer, and that's pretty much it. I think the only other part that I dislike more is maybe the 160. But that being said, this color is pretty sick. Very nice blue, very icy, very nice recolor. But I'm not a big fan of Hell's Hammer. I do like using him against like defensive Beyblades because he can be a pretty good stationary attack. But other than that, it's not anything crazy. Also, I think this has a different paint job than they usually give. Usually they don't have like glitter inside the paint. It's just inside the plastic. This might be one of the first glitter paint jobs, so that actually might be one of the cooler parts of this layer. Anyway, that's all the parts. Let's move on to weight testing and we'll end the video there. Okay, first and foremost, let's get the weight of Night Mail all together. And it's about 43.51. Very nice. And the layer itself, if it's above 35, then it should be pretty decent. 36.65, that's one of the best defensive layers that we have seen. I think Wizard Rod is about 35, so this is even heavier. And sure, it might not be as round, but with the ball gimmick and stuff like that, it should at least be a pretty good defensive or defensive balance layer. Or blade, I guess. People have been yelling at me in the comments for saying layer. I'm sorry guys, I'm still used to it. Let's move on to the next new part, Talon Terra, and we can weigh our TT Vipertail first. Or not Talon Terra, Terra Swing. 34.74 versus 34.69. Okay, that's not terrible. Most retools are a lot less heavy than their counterparts, but this wasn't too bad, so that's pretty nice. Next we can move on to the painted layers. I do not have a TT version or a Hasbro version to compare this to, so I'm just gonna weigh this and then compare it to the fake version. 37.49. So you guys can tell me if that's good or not. I think that's better than average because usually it's like 37. So yeah, here is TT or SBs, and obviously it crushes it at 39.16, but that's just fake Beyblades being fake nowadays. They're kind of nuts. And finally, let's get the weight for Hell's Hammer. 33.54. I think that's better than my non-painted hammer. Yeah, slightly better, which is at 33.27. So, as we see, painted layers are only slightly better, if better at all. But still, aesthetically, they're kind of crazy, so that's pretty nice. And I guess we could weigh these bits, since this has a bunch of plastic and rubber, and this has straight up metal. Here we have just an average part point, 2.16. Rubber SL goes for 3.09, so slightly heavier. Are you serious? Whoa, that's kind of crazy to me. So metal needle is actually lighter than rubber SL. Okay, so if you guys want to weight max, you might as well just use rubber SL. Has better LAD and better weight apparently. Anyway, that's pretty much it for this video. Hope you guys enjoyed, and I'll see you guys in the next video.